Introducing PubCoin. PubCoin is the rewards program for pub sports contributors. Regular chat contributors share their play of the day, POD, in the YouTube chat, including the phrase POD in their message. At the end of the week, the amount of units earned are converted into PubCoins. PubCoin can be used as reward points for prizes, shop discounts, and contests.
We are back! The third annual Pub Sports Radio Cappers Contest is ready for registration. 5 picks each week against the spread, and we battle for cash.
All picks lock. Saturday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Top 10% gets paid out at the end of the season. Sign up right now at pubsportsradio.com.
Congratulations to last year's champions, Guillermo Zertucci and Sharpie, who were tied atop the leaderboard. But Jose, why don't we hear from our inaugural champion, Peter Loshak?
Yeah, last year, before the season started, Slaughter called me. He was like, could you not win it this year? And I was like, Jeff, anything. You don't even have to think about it. You know what I mean? So I did that. He hasn't called me so far this year.
Okay.
If he does, I'm not going to win it. If he doesn't, all bets are off now.
Oh, I like it.
All bets are off if I don't get that call. You know what I mean?
Wow, Pete. Thanks for your generosity.
I can't wait! September 5th, Thursday night is game 1, but your picks have to be in by Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. We battle for infamy! We battle for the Cappers Contest Pub Sports Radio Championship. Upgrade your membership to Gold. You will be automatically entered in every horse race, every Wednesday and Friday. It is time to race horses.
Shout out to the gold members. And we're off. 2 minutes, 74 canals on this racetrack. It's wide. We're racing in San Antonio.
Pat Wally moving forward leads. Jeff Slaughter in the mix as well. And as is Randall Sheffield, who's put that beautiful nose out front.
But it's actually real grass here, Jimmy. Maybe Kentucky bluegrass here. Oh, look at Nuss Flush Allen bursting out here. The horses love it. Sometimes they stop and eat it on the way to the finish line. That's why your horses start so far in the back. J-Dub in the mix. Rude Boy up here as well. Jimmy, take it away.
There's Oldie. Oldie is moving to the front. We are past the halfway mark in our 2 mile. And there's Ricky Levy. 19 seconds left in the horse race here. It's Fernando Mendoza trying to find the wire. 14 seconds left. Can Fernando Mendoza take this home? Here comes Kenny Can. Kenny Can wants a piece of the pie. Ricky Bobby, 9 seconds left. Can Donut Silks make a run? Can Res Mall make a run to be $50?
You son of a bitch!
Here comes Tori Coker. Kenny Can smoking mirrors. Director 97 home. That is the way. Here comes Jason Meyer, the other custodian. Billy Friedrich. Jones one all coming down to the advantage.
Coin! Nowhere!
Oh no! And Fanatical Jim!
Get him, Jimmy, where Loshak at? The bottle's getting empty, I'm not cracking, we stacking. Chips, all of this, what I want, plus money winners, that's what I'm on. You can say I'm gone, I prefer elevated, Pub Sports Radio. Time to get educated, Bouquett, produce, fade the juice, stay loose with.
All right. Hi. Welcome to Pub Sports Radio, everyone. It's Tuesday. My name is Peter Loshak. Of course, I do this show every Tuesday here at Pub Sports Radio. When it's not football season, do with Jimmy the Bag. It's a whole lot of fun. When it is football season, Jimmy is so busy that I have to do the show solo. So it's a little bit less fun, but still a lot of fun. And, of course, we have the comments section. Jose Bouquett. Today, we're going to talk 2 college football games with Dabby Tab. And we always, of course, have Jose Bouquett, who always adds at least a little, sometimes a whole hell of a lot. Jose Bouquett, we got the contest coming up starting next week that people can still sign up for. I'm sure you want to promote that. The poker tournament last week was a hell of a lot of fun. Just fun all around, Jose Bouquett. I know this Pub Sports Radio stuff makes my life like night and day. How you doing, Jose Bouquett?
Doing well, Pete. Excuse me. I'm doing well. Can't complain. Like you mentioned, Cappers contest sign-ups going right now. I signed up for both. It's going to be a lot of fun. Survivor and the Cappers contest. Pete, I'd be remiss to ask, we don't see you for much of the week. Have you already looked at some NFL lines?
I looked at some NFL lines.
What do you think?
What'd you say?
Yeah. Have you looked at them?
No. Who told you that? You got to be careful. A lot of times you get information that seems good. Sometimes it's not. Whoever told you I've been looking at NFL lines, it was definitely misinformed or lying. I am in the contest though, so I'm going to look at lines somewhat soon, or maybe coin flip for the first week.
I just wanted to know if you had looked at them.
Oh no, have not even looked at them. Not even looked at them. But that's okay, because there's a lot of misdirections, and like last year, if you recall, not necessarily in the NFL, but in college football, there were massive moves prior to like week 1, and a lot of those moves were way wrong. So trying to tail those moves and catch up with them. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind this year in with my football preparation because I've been focusing a lot on tennis and soccer, Jose Bouquett, and that's been a lot of fun overall.
How's the soccer going, Pete?
Going okay. It's going okay. I'm hitting a lot of like first half under 1.5s in like the Ecuador and Argentina leagues, and like parlaying it with like big tennis favorites that it's hard to bet straight, but that still have a little bit of value. So parlaying it with like Sabalenka or Sinner or any of these people on the money lines. I got some stuff parlayed with the Roosters in rugby that's going in a couple of days. So I'm doing stuff like that, Jose Bouquett. And so the result is no. I am, I know that Ski Prophet has said that he is more prepared for this NFL season than he has ever been. And I can definitely say I am less prepared for this NFL season than I've been at this point for any NFL season in my entire capping career. But that's okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes better be lucky than prepared.
Yeah, I think that's going to lead to some success for you today, Pete. So I'm excited to see you cap and pick your picks on the Survivor. I think you're in Survivor, right? Are you in Survivor as well, Pete?
Oh yeah. I'll be in all of them. I'm prepared as hell for the 2 college games today. And there were a few college games that I bet. I had the under in the TCU game. But I'm not like I don't have like an overarching preparation like Wine Time Sports and guys like that.
By the way, speaking of Wine Time Sports, he had a great weekend this weekend. Yeah. Our guy Kong's Clips had a 20-unit weekend yesterday or last weekend, Pete, I should say. Shout out to you, Kongs. We've got Justin McKelvey dropping some stacks, 1 and 2. Jose Ramirez over 1.5 bases and the over 9 in the Blue Jays game. So a lot of good things happening. And of course, shout out to our friend Justin McKelvey and Stacks. Stacks. Beautiful. Crystal Craig also in here as well. Milwaukee Brewers team total over. Shout out to you, Crystal. And shout out to everyone in here in the chat dropping your plays nice and early.
Yeah, Crystal liking the Brewers team total over 4.5. Let me refresh my memory on that one. Oh yeah. Oh, okay, right. With the return of Steve Matz. Yeah. That's a call on Steve Matz. And I, at times in Matz's career, was just pounding the team total overs when I suspected that he was not right when he was injured and wasn't always correct, but what was correct more often than not. So yeah, Matt's multiple back issues. Now he's back. He had some AAA results that were okay. He got hit in his eye. That's an interesting game. We will talk about it. Crystal Craig, though, play of the day. a fade of at least a partial fade of Steven Matt's Brewers team total over 4.5 plus 110. I certainly can't disagree with that. Wow, let's see. Anything else in the comments section?
Yes, some good ones here, Pete. By the way, Kong's Clips mentioning now, get on Tennessee -7.5. Looks like the best play of the week.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that game today.
We will talk about it. Of course, in football, you always want to try not to overreact to week 1 results or week 0 results. And sometimes, though, the opposite is true. Sometimes you want to catch up before the market catches up based on week 1 results. And with Tennessee and Arkansas, obviously based on the early results, I don't know. Yeah, that's a tough one. We'll see what Dabby Cab has to say about it. My sense is I haven't made a bet on that one. I was thinking maybe a shot with the under just because maybe Arkansas, or at least the first half under, Arkansas might try to steal that game and try to slow it down and grind it out and play gritty Arkansas football for at least a half. But yeah, Tennessee's offense, if they get down 2 touchdowns, all bets are off, and then it's off to the races. And it does seem suspiciously low, like just a Tennessee team total. In 2 years ago, they scored 30 in I think every game except the game against Georgia, and their offense is looking awesome as hell again this year. So yeah, we'll see what Dabby Cab has to say about it. Other comments coming in. Nasty Nate AK saying you guys look like Balky and Larry. All right, Nasty Nate, hiding behind the camera. We don't know what he looks like today. He probably looks a little fucked up too. You know what I'm saying? No, or maybe he looks good. He often looks very good, actually. Come to think of it, I've never seen him not look at least pretty put together. Shout out to you, Nasty Nate. We do look like Balky and Larry. I gotta admit that. All right, what else do we have?
They were.
And let's see, Tom Leach liking the Pirates team total over. Yeah, that one. Okay, we will talk about that one. And David Redling saying best play for Saturday, Notre Dame -28.5. They should win 70 zip. Yeah. Okay. I will. I did have the under in the Texas A&M Notre Dame game in the first half under. Their second game though, I didn't look into. Yeah, I know perfect strangers, Nasty Nate. All right. Anything pre-1990, anything pop culture pre-1996, I know. All right.
What happened? What happened in 96?
I just saw a bunch of movies and I was like, these are all horrible. And I was like, I just don't want to go to movies. And then it just like turned into like 30 years of not going to any movies ever. Just because they're so bad. And then when people would force me to go to see a movie, they would always be way worse than I even expected or remembered. So, but no, I hear you. And before anything pre-98 or whenever that, maybe it was 2000, maybe it was a little later. I saw Kids in the theater, and that was awesome. That was the last great movie I saw in the theater. Let's see. What else we got? Cons clips like in Louisville -25.5. All right. What time is Dabby coming in, Jose Bouquett?
It's a great question. I haven't even told him. So he'll be in here whenever, but we've got plenty of time here. I'll reach out to him and let him know when we're like 2-3 games away from college.
All right. Okay. Right on. Shout out to Tom Leach. Just looking at the comment section to make sure that we didn't forget anything. And then we'll get, and Gerald Jones, been fire MLB best bet play of the day, Mets -130. Yeah. I bet the Mets first 5. And of course, they are playing Boston. Jose Bouquett, of course, will be able to have particular expertise on that game. My note on that game is, why is this line so low? Peterson obviously has been awesome. Carter Crawford has been a little bit less horrible his last couple starts, but in general, pretty vulnerable. Peterson reliably awesome. And Mets winning, Red Sox not. And the line seemed just a little bit fishy to me, Gerald Jones. So I admit I did bet the first 5 line for the Mets, and we'll see what Jose Bouquett has to say about that. Gerald Jones saying his best bet play of the day, Mets -130, and on the surface, that looks like a play that I would agree with. All right, I think we got it.
Let's get after it, Pete.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I said, let's get after it. I'm excited.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. Yeah. Arkansas plays Oklahoma State. Pete. Right. Sorry. I confused the teams. Right. That's what I mean. I was leaning under in the Arkansas-Oklahoma State game, and then the Tennessee game against NC State. Yeah. Sorry. I was confusing it. Sorry. That one, well, we'll talk about with Dabby Cat, but that one, to me seems like it's just a matter of the NC State offensive line. They've had a great offensive line past bunch of years, supposed to be as good or better this year. Did not look good against Western Carolina. And the The question is, will they make a market improvement against Tennessee? And I'm not exactly sure about that. But we'll see what Dabby Cab has to say about that. Yeah, sorry, I confused the teams. I meant I was leaning under in the Arkansas-Oklahoma State team. Oklahoma State and Tennessee, of course, both huge offenses. So same kind of situation. All right, which is why I got confused. Okay, you ready to move on, Jose Bouquett?
Yeah, this is going to be a fun baseball slate. I haven't looked
Yes,
at baseball in the last 2
baseball.
days, so I'm excited.
All right, ready to start? Okay, first game on the card, White Sox in Baltimore. Of course, White Sox again starting to lose game in and game out. Perhaps the fair line for the White Sox over the past 10 games should have been, plus 800 or so. This guy Nastrini is starting for the White Sox. And, you see a lot of guys like him in the majors, guys who have great stuff, but control issues. And then when they figure out their control issues, they become quality major league pitchers. And the question is, has Nastrini figured out his control issues? His last start in the majors, just one walk. And his last few appearances in the minors, also he didn't give up that many walks. And so it may be the case that he has for the most part figured out his control issues. On the other side, Povich for Baltimore, Cade Povich, very vulnerable in general. Can the White Sox get to him? Mild weather, of course, Baltimore is like a minus 300 favorite or so. Total's 18.5. Baltimore killed him yesterday, 13-3. I didn't make a bet on this one yet. It's interesting that Povich's earned run prop was just 1.5 at minus 157. And as chintzy as the White Sox lineup is, still a major league lineup, and Povich is struggling for real. So I didn't bet that one, but that was tempting. And also the Povich hits prop, just 4.5 at minus 129. Very tempting to me. I know that the White Sox have if he's going to have a get right start against anyone, it's more likely to be here than anywhere else. But I'm not quite seeing it. So I didn't make a bet on this one, leaning for Povich to not quite do as well as the market is currently suggesting he might. What's your take on this one, Jose Bouquett?
Yeah, I mean, Pete, you know me. No team in baseball should be minus 300. We've gone over this many a times here. So I'll just take White Sox full game money line here. Shout out to our friend Nicholas Earl at Earl Sports Bets. He does the minus 300 fade as well. He does a great job of record keeping for it, and he updated the minus 300 fade record this morning. Sent it out on Twitter. Follow him on Twitter at Nicholas_Earl. Here's some of the numbers if you're interested here, everyone. First 5 wise, 7, 14, and 1, up 0.72 units. Average line plus 239. Full game, 8 and 14, up 7.68 units on the year, plus 264 average line. Yes, and then if you put those together, obviously overall up 8.4 units on the year, minus 300 fade wise. So that's great. Now I asked Nick Earl a question that people in the chat have asked me as well. How is it doing? Are the lines sharper now? Are the minus 300 in the second half different than the first half? I expected the minus 300 to be more successful in the first half, and they are. From the start of the season to June 1st, they were 8 and 14, up 4.9 units, or 4.59 units, I should say. From the start of the season to the All-Star break, up 9.34 units, 11 and 17. So very good. From the All-Star break to now, 4, 11 and 1, only down 1.65 units on the season on the minus 300 fade. So it's very, very interesting, all these numbers. Like we predicted, it's kind of getting tighter, these lines, at the second half. But I think that we get one, if not both, of these today here, Pete. So White Sox full game money line on my card. Cade Povich should not be minus 200 against anyone, really. And I understand the White Sox are really bad, but we'll find out how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, Nastrini, again, if he has solved his control issues reliably, his last start was excellent. And regardless of Povich, if we knew for a fact that Nastrini was very likely to have his control issues fixed going forward, then he shouldn't be a plus 250 dog to anyone either, regardless of who's starting for Baltimore.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah,
Plus
you,
262, by the way, full game money line. I see you, Nutflush, already yelling at me for not taking the team total. Don't worry, I'm looking at it. First five team total over 1.5 for Cade Povich.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, and his earned run prop was just 1.5. Yeah, his earned run prop is 1.5. It seems, I mean, anyone who's starting in the majors can have a quality start, especially against the crappy lineup on any given day, which is why, that guy David Festa, you remember him? He had horrific couple of first starts up, and then all of a sudden he turned into a better than average pitcher. But yeah, it definitely feels like there's no reason to think that Povich will make that much of an improvement here. Maybe he will. It's tempting to take White Sox first five.
Sense, Pete.
Go ahead.
There's third worst against lefties from the 15th of August to today. And those are what my splits will be from. So, I mean, I get it, but still.
And they're hurt, and then, of course, if Nastrini does start to have, he's done it in one major league start and like 2 or 3 minor league appearances. Is that enough to bet on him, to make you bet on it? I don't think so. All right. It's tempting to take Chicago here one way or another. Tempting to take Povich over 4.5. Yeah, 4.5 hits prop. That is very tempting. I did bet that one a little bit. I guess I'll hold off as far as an official play for now. Is there anything you want to make official, Jose?
I mean, just the full game money line and the first 5 team total over. Full game money line plus 262. White Sox first 5 team total over 1.5 minus 105. And Nutflush, I'm spreading my wings here. Good luck to everyone betting the minus 300 fades this year or this month. And AOD, my sweet tea tits are doing well. It's nice to see you, AOD. But that's all for me, Pete.
AOD says, Loshak Def, watch Ricky Lake show. Not only did I watch it, I did impressions of it for my friends. That was when my brain was 100% all full and flowering and exploding back then. Hell yeah, I watched the Ricky Lake show. Ricky Lake, second and sexiest female celebrity, in my opinion, from the 90s, second only to Monica Lewinsky. Number 1, Monica Lewinsky. Number 2, Ricky Lake. No question about it.
Didn't we all want to be Bill Clinton? Pete, real quick. Yeah. I was showed the Perfect Strangers thing, and I can't confirm. We kind of do look like them, but it's all right. I think it's a good look for us.
We do. All right. Let's move on, Jose Bouquett, to Pat Corbin Day. Ready?
Your fave.
Washington, Miami. Pat Corbin, another great home start, last out. Usually when I'm looking to fade Corbin, I fade him a couple of ways. Last start, I faded him only one way and lost with it. That's okay. It felt a little bit iffy. And now here he is on the road against Miami. Miami coming back from the West Coast, a relatively easy assignment. If Corbin was struggling in general, I'd be a little bit hesitant to fade him here. Now with him pitching a lot better, I actually, and even when Corbin gives up a bunch of runs, he tends to get strikeouts. I actually did bet Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts at about minus 105 or so. I bet that one. And I even took a small shot with his under 6.5 hits at like minus 135 or so. It wouldn't be surprised if Corbin gets absolutely crushed even by Miami here in Miami. But, the market is still not giving him credit for the turnaround that he's exhibited. And then on the other side, Max Meyer, a top 5 draft pick who hasn't really gotten it done. He's the 2-pitch pitcher. They're thinking about taking him out of the starting rotation next year, making him a reliever where his pitch limitations, or his pitch, mix limitations won't matter quite as much. And Washington's off a big beatdown. So I'd be leaning Washington here. The only bets I made were I also took a small shot with Meyer under 4.5 strikeouts at about minus 110. I took Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts, and I took Corbin under 6.5 hits at minus 140. Low total. Not ready to take an under here, but very interesting game here, Jose Bouquett. What do you think? Another decent start from Corbin?
Yeah, it's a very interesting game indeed. And by the way, I'll mention the market numbers for everyone out there. Real quick for White Sox Orioles, unsurprising, 96% of the bets, 94% of the money on the Orioles. We went from 290 to 300. And for the total, real quick, 85% of the bets, 95% of the money on the over. We went from a 9 minus 115 to the under to now an 8.5 juice to the over, but very interesting indeed. As for this game, yeah, I lean Nationals here as well with you, Pete. The line movement in this game has been very interesting as well. And Patrick Corbin has been pitching well. The Marlins against lefties since the 15th to today, they are pretty good, actually. 11th, 101 weighted runs created plus, so about average. But that's pretty good for them, honestly. 63% of the bets on the Marlins, but only 46% of the money on the Marlins. So it's pretty split tickets-wise. Bigger bets on the Nationals. And I see why. Like I said, I lean that way as well. It's funny. There's the line movement, like I said, interesting in this game because this opened up minus 115 at Bet Online, goes down to minus 112, and everywhere else it opened up, like minus 110, minus 115, and it's gone up towards the Marlins. So, like for example, Heritage is now minus 113, opened up at minus 110, and Bookmaker as well, basically the same thing. So I don't know. I'm staying off this game, but I definitely lean Marlins Nationals, and I'd rather have Patrick Corbin on the bump here today, which is very interesting.
Yeah, what do you think that movement is? Is it because the market thinks that Corbin's going to be worse than expected, Meyer better than expected, or just a bad spot for Washington?
I would guess that it's going to be a low scoring game. I think both pitchers pitch well. And like that total movement is the most interesting one of all of them. 71% of the bets, 87% of the money on the over. And we have, let me go back here. We went from a 8.5 juice to the over. Now, Bet Online has a under 8.5 juice to the under, minus 125. Bovada and Heritage both have 8s. So I think that it's just both these pitchers pitch well here through the first 5 innings or so. And then you're trusting 2 bullpens who, for those wondering as well, Nationals bullpen fully rested, ready to go with a day off yesterday. And the Marlins, same thing as well. So at the end of the day, you just have to trust which bullpen you kind of like more. And I think I'd rather have the Nationals bullpen than the Marlins here.
All right. Well, I never thought this was going to happen, but we'll start the day off. First official play. I will take the Corbin strikeout prop over at Caesars, over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 104 at Caesars. I'll make that official. And I also am leaning hard to Meyer over 4.5 hits, even though it's minus, in the minus 160s. You think that Meyer's going to pitch better? He really hasn't gotten it done at the major league level. It seems like he's just gotten figured out with his fastball slider combo.
I do think he pitches better. Yeah, I just would rather bet and back pedigree, honestly, Pete. And I'll say Nationals against righties. This last month or so, I should say, since the 15th to today, 11th best, 108 weighted runs created plus. So they're not bad either.
Yeah,
but I do think Max Meyer pitches well.
I mean, he's getting a lot of grounders, and I'm sure they're tinkering with him. You're right. So don't necessarily want to time reversal of form for him, or time a continuation of form necessarily. I'll stay off. I'll hold off. Let's look at the comment section quickly to see if anyone likes anything, and then we'll move on here. Let's see. Clark Edge says Marlins hit Corbin hard last time. Yeah, at Miami. That was in April, but they did. That was also, a different Corbin. I mean, he's obviously made some kind of change here, right? Jose Bouquett, whether it's, drug-induced, coaching-induced, whatever.
I think it's I need to pitch well for the last half of the season so I can hopefully keep earning money next year.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is. Yeah. And by the way, somebody's signing Patrick Corbin.
Oh, of course.
Well next year.
And then, because a lot of these auto fade guys are out of the league for in the next season. Corbin's will be back next year, and man, is that
Corbin's going to be back next year.
That's going to be
good with a new team, and
that's going to be.
And it's funny, you know what, Pete? We will never see someone like Patrick Corbin again. We will never see a pitcher this bad just post innings. He's been healthy as hell and just post. So respect to Patrick Corbin, and respect to L Baller, who just signed up for the Cappers contest. Shout out to you. El Baller.
Shout out to El Baller. Ryan Kozlowski saying he'll be on the A's. Yeah, that won't be great because he'll get a big help pitching in that ballpark. Although then when he goes on the road, maybe
Well, they're not going to be.
They're
They're going to be in Sacramento next year, Pete. Don't forget about
that's
that.
right. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So
Corbin,
I don't know what the fucking park's like either, but you mean.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm taking a shot with Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts, -104 current line Caesars. Let's move on. Next game, Minnesota Tampa Bay. Festa against Springs. I talked about Festa earlier in the show. Had a very good August, right? His first couple starts in the majors were bad, but then he really turned it around. And Springs as well. When he came back, was struggling. His minor league appearances were not that great, but he has now become an excellent 5-inning starter here. Not quite at the level that he was at his peak earlier in his career, but still excellent. And I think that Tampa Bay. I bet Tampa Bay first 5 here. It's not necessarily a fade of Festa. It's a believer in Springs and a believer in the Tampa Bay lineup in this spot. I also bet the no run in the first inning small and have a small lean to the first 3 under as well. And Springs over 5.5 strikeouts. Again, another strikeout number that seems a little bit low to me. Springs is, he's not going deep, but even in his 5-inning starts, getting, a lot of strikeouts. Didn't quite understand why his strikeout number was just 5.5 at like plus money or even money. So I took a small shot with that. I already took a small shot with Tampa Bay first 5 at about -125 or so. Minnesota's a good team, but I'm a believer in Springs right now. A believer in Festa too, but not quite as big of a believer in him as Springs. Low line, Tampa Bay off the loss. They have that prospect who's hitting third in their lineup now. He's great. That's my thought here, Jose Bouquett. Believer in Festa, bigger believer in Springs, liking, unders early, and Tampa Bay first 5 worth a shot. What do you think, Jose?
It's a difficult game for me. I lean Rays with you, Peter. I'm not going to lie. David Festa has pitched well after those 2 rocky first starts. 61% of the bets, 51% of the money on the Rays, which you don't see often, especially with how the Rays have been this year. Opened up full game -107. It's still there. Got up to -114 at one point, though, and it just dropped right back down to the opener for Festa and the Rays here. 80% of the bets, 88% of the money on the over as well. Was indeed an 8.5. Was juiced to the under already. We're at 7.5 now, juiced to the under. They even there, and probably going to see some 7s. Bookmaker and Heritage already showing those 7s here. So, Pete, if I see a 7, I have to bet the over. I'll tell you that now.
Mm-hmm.
That's been a good angle or good trend. Shout out to Mikey Money. If the line moves down just a full run, bet the over. And it's typically all the money is on the over as well when it's moving down like that. But it seems like my reasoning, my explanation in my head, Pete, is that these supercomputers creating lines are not going to be a full run off at times, So, and I've been betting, it's been pretty successful for me, but I don't have that 7 yet. I'm looking at other books right now, another book that I can use, Bovada, to see if I can make the 7 and see if we can roll like that. But otherwise, I've got no action. By the way, over 7 -135 right now at Bovada. So I'll just need to wait and see what it does here. But if it goes down to 7, I'll lean over, and sidewise, I lean Rays as well.
And what about like the first 5 under?
First 5, I'll tell you right now. I want to look at the first 5 movement here. We went from a 4 to a 3.5 here, juice to the over.
I'm seeing 4 -119 for the under at Pinnacle right now.
That's nice. Well, you should get on that because Bet Online showing 3.5. It's plus money to the under, but we still have that there. Bookmaker 3.5 plus 105. Heritage the same thing. So yeah, I'd bet that if I was you, Pete.
Yeah. My numbers indicated, that early unders were good. Of course, things have been a lot higher scoring recently at Tampa Bay's Park. Let's look at what the comment section has to say. Let's see. Yeah, Robert Franklin liking the Tampa Bay first 5 money line. Jermaine
Jeremiah
Connolly
Connolly with a good stat here, saying the Twins have the worst record on Tuesdays on the road, 2-7.
Mhm. Tom Leach says Twins money line. I like. Yeah. All right. Got it. Yeah, it's not that big of a line. What's the first five line here for Tampa Bay? It is what can I get a Pinnacle right now? First half, yeah, minus 111. Okay. All right. I'm a little bit worried about buying high on Springs right now. He's coming off of two roads. His last road start was at Seattle, excellent. And Minnesota has a nice little lineup there, don't they, Jose Bouquett?
Yeah, and they're in the thick of a playoff race. I mean, they're holding on to the
Sure are.
last wild card spot, I should say. So they're in it. They need to win all these games.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna go for it anyway. I'm gonna take Tampa Bay first five. Right now it's a minus 111 at Pinnacle. Shop around to see if I can get a little bit better. If I can get minus 110 somewhere, but I'll take that one. And I guess I'll hold off on no run in the first officially and the first three under. Although I bet both of them. Things get a little bit weird when the calendar changes in September, but it can get a little bit unpredictable, even more unpredictable than normal. But I'll stick with Tampa Bay first five, minus 111, current line Pinnacle, and then we'll move on. Is there anyone saying anything in the comments section about this game, Jose Bouquett, that you're noticing while I line chop?
No, Mally Mal hates the first five under 3.5 bets, though. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm off. Tom Leach mentioning Rays first five, but Twins win the game.
Okay.
Pete, I'll say this: the Rays have the best bullpen in baseball from the 15th. Or why I shouldn't say. I looked at the splits. I updated them just now. I should say, it was from the All-Star break to today. They had the best bullpen ERA. But if you split it down from the 15th to today, Detroit, Houston, Philadelphia, Texas all have the best bullpen ERAs. Tampa Bay down to 15th there. So very interesting.
Very interesting, Jose Bouquet. All right, I'm going to take Tampa Bay first five. I also bet the Springs over 5.5 strikeouts line at like plus 100 at even money. So I'm not going to make that official, though, although that might be the better bet. But let's move on. Next one, Philly and Toronto. Jose Bouquett at Toronto, of course. Tyler Phillips starting for Philly. Guy who, a sinker baller. And as you might have heard me say over the years, Jose Bouquett, sinker ballers have very high volatility in general, game to game and section of career to section of career, because when the sinker balls are working, they can be very hard to hit, even when, the batters know what's coming. And when they're not on their game, then they're basically just throwing straight balls. And you see high volatility with sinker ballers all the time. Tyler Phillips kind of is that way. A few months ago, he threw a shutout in the major leagues. That was getting absolutely crushed. Now he's back. Supposedly there's a change in attitude with him, and he's expecting to achieve success again now here. And Chris Bassett, last start was excellent at Fenway. Before that, though, he was getting hit. So I did make two bets small. I want to hear what you have to say about it. I did bet Phillips under 3.5 strikeouts just because I know that he's going to be going for contact here and not so much strikeouts, although he can still get strikeouts, and 3.5 is a very low number. I took that small. And I also took small Bassett over 2.5 earned runs at just minus 110 or so. He had a excellent start last out, but before that was pretty vulnerable most of the time, including at home. Why would he not be vulnerable here against Philly? Those are the two bets I made, Jose Bouquett. What's your take on this one?
Your landline is quite funny today, Pete. I see you're in a different location today, Pete. Why
don't you talk about this game while I take care of something? All right, Jose Bouquett?
Go ahead. We'll go. We'll watch Pete do what he has to do here. All right. So let's talk about this game. We remember Tyler Phillips being the young, I think he's right-handed, excuse me, pitcher. He's fan of the Phillies. It was a good story. And then his last three starts in the majors, 4 1/3, 5 earned runs, 5 innings, 4 earned runs, and 1/3 of an inning, 8 earned runs against the Seattle Mariners, who are horrible offensively. It's very interesting. He goes down to the minor leagues. He has 2 starts in the minors, 3 1/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 5 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs in those outings. I mean, I truthfully, I would rather back Tyler Phillips here. He's that classic minor, or I should say major league pitcher, gets sent down to the minors, has to toil for 2 starts-ish, and then comes back up with a head full of steel and ready to go. But I don't know. The line movement and everything in this game kind of threw me off. So let's talk about that here real quick, and then hopefully Pete will be back here in a second. But line movement for our Phillies Blue Jays game here as I keep scrolling past it. 61% of the bets on the Blue Jays, but 46% of the money on the Blue Jays. So bigger bets on the Phillies here. Not that big, obviously, to tip the scales too much for me. 70% of the bets and 84% of the money is on the over in this game. As I go back to full game, we went from a 9 minus 110 each way, and I'm getting now 8.5 juice to the, or excuse me, 9.5, 9. God damn. I don't know where these numbers are coming from. 9 minus 125 to the under there. So seems like there's a little steady climb down to the 8.5. Maybe we'll see that later. Again, it's interesting that that's the case with 70% of the money and 84% of the bets. I don't want to go up against stacks. Welcome back, Pete. So I'm not going to take an under in this game. Bubbarito likes the over here as well. And Chris Bassett, again, he's another pitcher that's, he's got to pitch really well to have a job next year. And I think he's a quality pitcher. The line movement in this game, money line wise, is very interesting. Pete, I don't know if you saw, was there another pitcher listed for the Phillies before Tyler Phillips?
No. People getting fucking out of pocket all over the place. It pisses me off. All right. No, I said that Phillips the first guy I saw. All right. So just in a nutshell, what did you say? You believer in Bassett here or not?
I kind of am, yeah, because this line, and maybe, I need to look at other lines and other books here as well to see what they open this up at. But I don't know why BetOnline opened this up with the Phillies being favored for a bit, and then they flipped it. I'm looking at everywhere else just to make sure. And it's interesting. Bookmaker opened this minus 115 Philadelphia as well. And then 10 minutes later, it flips. I don't know if these are, factual, because those are always a little worrisome to me. After 10 minutes, it flips. But I don't know. It just kind of seems like it's a Toronto spot for me. I was surprised to see them favored to begin with here, Pete. So if I'm taking anything here, probably roll with the team total over or Chris Bassett, just, full game money line there, but no action for me in this one so far.
Jermaine Connolly says Ty Phillips is a bet on pitcher. You catch that? I
did, yeah. I get it. It's a pitcher who was in the majors. He had success, struggled a little bit at the end, gets sent down, 2 minor league starts, and then it gets called back up for his chance at the majors. I'm sure this is a gigantic start for him in his head. A huge opportunity.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna pass on it. Bubbarito says, Pete, I'm heading to NYC next month. What's a good steakhouse to go to other than Peter Luger's? I like to go to restaurants in general where famous mobsters were taken out outside on the street corner. Like the Clam House. Is it Umberto's? And there's a friggin' steakhouse. I think it's on the Upper East Side where someone famous was shot. I don't remember who it was, but famous guy. That's what I would recommend, Bubbarito. I'll think about it. I'll let you know. I'll get back to you.
Pete, so you'd love to go to Dallas then and go to the place that JFK was shot. They got a lovely X there. You can see the whole thing. You'd love that.
Yeah, no, mostly gangsters. You know what I mean? Mostly, I like gangsters. Presidents. It doesn't have that much appeal to me. I don't know why. It should, but it doesn't. I don't know why. All right, let's see. What else do we have here on the comment section? All right, I'm gonna pass. Jermaine Connolly says Phillies team total over Phillips last 5 starts for 34 runs, 4. Yeah. I did bet, in fact, a little bit the Bassett over 2.5 earned runs. But all right. Oh, people are talking about WNBA. Mally Mel says Sparks are tanking. Oh, Sparks, right? That's right. Right, because he says Ryan Kozlowski says you can't get a table there. You can get a table there.
Ryan, look who you're talking to. You see this guy?
You know what I'm saying? People don't know who I know. people don't know who I know. Maybe we'll make a video with one of the guys I know. All right, let's move on. Shall we, Jose Bouquett?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to pass on this fucking game because someone was out of pocket and threw me off of my fucking headspace. Yeah. All right, here we go, Boston Mets, okay? Yeah. Is this line a little bit too low? David Peterson, awesome August. Is that going to continue here? Statistically, I don't see any reason that it won't. Cutter Crawford, in general, very vulnerable. Last two starts, less bad, but he still, gave up a few in those starts as well. In general, has been very vulnerable. Boston winning a game here and there, but losing more often than not. Mets losing here and there, but in general winning. They won yesterday. Again, it does feel maybe like a buy high spot on the Mets and Peterson, which would explain why the line is suspiciously low. I took 2 shots, Jose Bouquett, you tell me. I took a shot with the Mets first 5 at a relatively low line. And I also took a shot with Crawford under 5.5 strikeouts. I had to pay like minus 160 for it. But, even when he pitches well, he has a hard time getting up to 6 strikeouts. He could do it. But what are the chances? And I thought that a bet on the under, even at a big juice line, was worth it. Those are the 2 bets I made. I can understand why, in retrospect, they might prove to be sucker bets. And even the Peterson outs prop, 17.5 at just minus 110 or so. He's having quality 6-inning starts, start in and start out. Why would he not have another one here? Maybe you can shed some light on this, Jose Bouquett.
Yeah, so one thing I've consistently said about the Red Sox this year is they're not good against lefties. And they've had moments and patches where they've hit lefties, but I will continue to say there's just no shot I'm taking the Red Sox against any lefty, any of them. And if you want to look at the split from the 15th to today against lefties, the Red Sox, dead last? Yep, dead last. In front of the White Sox and the Rockies have hit lefties better than the Red Sox from the 15th to today. It's just been disgusting. So there's just no shot I could be on the Red Sox here, Pete. I kind of wanted to take the Mets here as well. I just, was a little hesitant, I guess. Obviously, the homer inside of me doesn't want to bet against the Red Sox. And there's 84% of the bets and 82% of the money on the Mets here already, Pete. So very public. It's opened up at minus 136. Bet Online got it up to almost 150 at one point, and it goes right back down to 36, which is fascinating. Other books here like Bookmaker, we'll talk about them. Bookmaker opened this minus 140, gets up to minus 145, back down to minus 130. It even got down to minus 126 at one point. So this line is just a little sketchy. I agree with you, Pete. They've moved it up and down. It seems like they're trying to get money on the Mets. And I think the Red Sox could pull this game out. I just don't want to bet them against any lefties, honestly. I think it's going to be a very big difference, though, Pete. Their last lefty, I believe they faced, was Tariq Skubal. Now you go up against David Peterson. Big difference. Big difference. So I lean Red Sox, honestly, after all that. But like I said, I just don't feel comfortable betting them against any lefty. So I stayed off here. Market in the total, if you guys are interested, 65% of the bets, 73% of the money on the over in this game. We've gone from an 8 minus 115 to the under there, and we've gone to 7.5 at many books there as well. So I probably lean under with you guys, but no action.
And the line, even on the Crawford strikeout prop, it's moved a little bit to the over. Nothing huge, but definitely as of right now, a small move. All right, you know what? I'll take a shot with it. If it loses, that's all right. I'll take Crawford under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 157 bet online. Current line minus 157 bet online. Crawford under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 157 bet online. And I really want to take the Mets here, first 5 at least, but I guess I'll hold off. Crawford, you follow this close as hell, Jose Bouquett. What's his deal? I mean, he's all right, but
I think they're just getting fatigued. I think the Red Sox pitching is just getting fatigued. This is like the first time that a lot of them have been, like full season starters with the full starters workload. Cutter Crawford has previous career high was last year, 129 and a third. He's at 155 innings pitched right now. So I just think there's just definitely a fatigue factor there, unfortunately. Pete, I haven't asked you about it, but when's the last time you wore that jacket out?
This jacket?
Yeah,
I think this might be
tell
the
me
first
about
time.
that jacket.
I don't remember. It just showed up somewhere. It's okay. I thought it went with the new look a little bit. We'll see if there's
It
any
looks
luck.
good. No one's saying it doesn't look good here, but BT's saying, so we're just going to ignore Pete's silver jacket as if it's appropriate. I didn't ask a question about it. I thought you looked good, but someone had to ask about it eventually.
Want me to pop the? Oh, you can't really pop it. You can't really pop it. Yeah, I think it looks. It doesn't look that good, but it's what I got. It's what I'm going with. What really matters here is the picks, and we're trying to make them. We're trying to make them as good as possible. All right. Crawford under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 157. I'll take it. Glance the comment section, and then we'll move on.
Billy, it's a good point, Billy. It does look
funny
accurate.
shit in the comment section. And let's see. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move on. I don't have anything on this game though. I lean Red Sox with the market.
All right. Next game on the card: Colorado, Atlanta. Atlanta, of course, a massive favorite with Chris Sale starting. Freeland starting for Colorado. He's been pretty reliable. His pitching props were a little bit, Atlanta is not the same offensive team as they have been. Freeland's strikeout prop was only 3.5. The over was like minus 160, and his earned run prop was all the way up to 3.5 as well. The under was minus 151, but not a lot of market respect for Freeland as far as his pitching props are concerned. A huge favorite line here for Atlanta. Sale, of course, pitching well, but I don't think he's quite pitching well enough to justify, automatic opposing team, first 5 team total unders, or maybe he is and I'm just missing it, but I'm not quite seeing that yet. Maybe I'm leaving money on the table. Massive favorite line for Atlanta. What's your take on this one, Jose?
Shout out to Mikey Raw for joining the Survivor Pool. We appreciate you, Mikey. Thank you, Mikey Raw. Join the Survivor Pool there. And again, if you guys haven't, it's still available. We're week 1 now. Here we go. The week 1 is starting. The first Cappers contest show will be this Thursday as well. Lines come out on Thursday. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Swig, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there. I believe it's Thursday around like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you for signing up there. Yeah, Pete, here's the thing. I watched Chris Sale just get hurt, injury for his last 4 years. And watching him now go to the Braves and just be the healthiest man in the world is shocking. It's just baffling to me. And just no signs of fatigue at all. He's just perfectly fine rolling through this season. And I'm like, what the fuck? How is this possible? He's going to win the Cy Young this year. He's thrown 153 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's gone up to 226. So, and by that, it was in 2016. I thought in my head, I was like, he hasn't thrown this much in 2019. Maybe there'll be some fatigue. No, none at all. He's been pitching great. And I'm like, you know what? Oh, fine. I'll accept it here. And then the market said, come back here. Come back here and look at this old man. And I think I'm going to bet against him here again today, Pete. We opened up at minus 375. And it got down to minus 335. No. Give me the Colorado Rockies, full game money line, plus 290. On top of that, their team total, full game team total, Pete, is 2.5. Minus 101, give me that as well. So both of them doubled up, 290 and 2.5 minus 101, Colorado Rockies.
Yeah. And Kyle Freeland's not getting that much respect either. I'll take this one as well. I'll take over 3.5 strikeouts. Shop around a little bit. Bet online has minus 162. Heritage has worse. See what Caesars
I'll mention
has,
this here, Pete, real
Yeah, go
quick,
ahead.
96% of the bets, 93% of the money on the Atlanta Braves, 75% of the bets, and 90% of the money on the over. Of the two -300s, it's pretty evident I feel better about this one than I do with the other one. Here, I'll tell you guys that one now. So if I had to pick one -300 to bet against here today, it'd be Chris Sale and the Braves. Nice to see you, Ron
Yeah.
Crawford.
The line has dropped a bit. You're right. Sale pitching great, but and then Freeland. What's up with Atlanta? Their lineup isn't that great, is it? What's up with their lineup?
I don't think so either. Ron Crawford, spreadsheet dog on the Minnesota Twins.
That's
here.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Very
That's not that
interesting.
great.
Pete on the Tampa Bay, but you're on first five, correct?
First five. Yeah.
Well, hopefully you guys can get a nice little split there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't believe in the Braves offense. I haven't all year. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't since like halfway through the season when they've just been routinely the best under team in baseball. I haven't updated those numbers in a while, so I'm going to give you guys those now. Best full game under teams in baseball here. So we'll start from the top once this son of a bitch loads. We have the best under teams: 52-82, the Atlanta Braves; 55-80, Houston Astros; 63-73, Oakland A's. You can see the big difference between the Braves and the Astros there on the best under teams there. So I agree. If this is going to be a lower scoring game, the Rockies have a shot.
Yeah. All right. I'll double up. I'll take Kyle Freeland under 3.5 earn runs. -163 at Pinnacle. I'll shop around to try to get a less shitty line, but a lot of disrespect here for Freeland. Not quite seeing it statistically. Oh yeah, there you go, 151 at Caesars. I'll take that. Yeah. All right. Let me shop around a little bit. What's anyone saying in the comment section of note, if anything?
We're just talking about the Cappers contest and survivor numbers. By the way, 37 Cappers in the Cappers contest, 18 in the survivor pool. Need more of you guys. We would appreciate that. Nasty Nate saying that the camel hair jacket is the best look here, Pete. I remember. I think that got lost in transit, right?
I don't know what the hell happened to it. You know, people taking advantage as they should. What am I?
It was a good jacket.
Yeah, you're right. What?
It was a good jacket. You know, if it was a good jacket, they had to take it.
I think I got that one from like some like dry cleaning delivered the wrong shit or something. But yeah.
Well, Pete, let me tell you, I think you would love to go to a Salvation Army down here and just peruse the jackets. I think you'd be very interested.
I sure would. All right, let's move on. Next game on the card: KC Cleveland. Bybee against Singer. Bybee faced KC last start, got hit a bit. Is he going to do better here? I'm not sure. Singer, relatively high volatility. He's either usually lights out or close to it, or giving up 4 runs or so. Cleveland won yesterday. As a dog, I'd have a slight lean to KC and slight lean to Bybee over 5.5 strikeouts at plus money. And also the Singer strikeout line was very low, 4.5 at just -140 or so. But I didn't bet this one, and I think I'm going to pass unless you have anything on it, Jose Bouquett.
This was the most fascinating game of the day for me. So let's talk about this. The Royals last week, Pete, hottest team in baseball, can't be stopped. They're going to catch the Guardians for the division. They beat the Guardians in a series. You snap, Labor Day weekend happens. One injury to Vinny Pasquantino. 6-game losing streak for the Royals. Now the Red Sox haven't done shit to try to catch up to them in the wild card standings, but 3-7 their last 10. And now they find themselves 4.5 games back of the Guardians when they were just right there. So I'm sure some motivation, I don't know what to call it, some desire from this series kind of let off in that aspect as well. 67% of the bets, 54% of the money on the Guardians here, pretty split. But I'm looking at this opener, Pete, at minus 123 for Cleveland, and it's gone down to minus 109 for Kansas City. Now, I can hear Troy Torrance again saying sharp trap. It's a low total. And I kind of don't want to bet on this Royals team that's in the middle of this floundering spot. It definitely feels like a catching the falling knife situation here. So again, I don't do this often. I don't love going against the market, but I think I'm going to take the Cleveland Guardians here full game. I just think this is a sharp trap kind of scenario here. It is a little worrisome, obviously, that there's more money and bets on the Guardians here, but I think it's slight. There's 33% of the bets, 46% of the money on the Royals, so bigger sharp action on them. But yes, I think this is Guardians here, and Ron Crawford saying take the Tribe as a Royals fan. So,
wow. You know how much I like those comments, especially from people like Ron Crawford. I should really tail and take Cleveland. Maybe I will in my private life, but publicly, I will hold off. Jose Bouquett. Let's glance the comment section to see. Ron. There you go, Ron Crawford. There you go, Ron Crawford. Yeah, Jermaine Connolly talking about he went down last year and they tanked. Yeah, that's
minus 109 for me full game.
Yeah, I should take him. But all right, Jermaine Connolly making multiple good points in favor of Cleveland here, backed up by Ron Crawford's point. All right, maybe I'll bet that myself. All right, let's move on. Next game, Pittsburgh and the Cubs. Jose Bouquett schemes against Hendricks. Hendricks facing Pittsburgh for the second game in a row. Got crushed in the last game. This had a very low total, and the wind was not blowing in, so I was scratching my head a little bit. And as a result, I didn't look. I said that I wanted to revisit it later and didn't have time to do that. So I don't have much on this one, except for not understanding the extraordinarily low total, unless I was looking at incorrect win numbers. Skeens facing the Cubs a second time in a row, gave up a bunch of runs in his last game. What do you have here on this one, if anything, Jose?
Well, I gotta mute myself. I don't know what it is, Pete, about Paul Skeens stars. They just always get me in the ass. I mean, I bet on him. The Pirates can't score. I bet against him routinely. I'm getting my ass kicked. So I'm off. I truly believe in the back-to-back kind of thing, Pete. If a pitcher goes in a back-to-back and gets crushed the first time, I typically believe they can bounce back and pitch well. It's a little more worrisome when it comes to a pitcher that throws fucking 90 miles an hour and all that stuff. But if I had to bet this game, it would be the Cubs in some sort of fashion, like a first 5 plus a half or something like that. Because I think Kyle Hendricks is just going to do some old man shit, make the adjustments, and pitch well against the Pirates here. I'll mention the wind here. Obviously, a low total in Wrigley makes this obviously like ears perk up as they're heavy winds. 9 mile an hour winds blowing from right field to the third base side. 8.5 it goes down to throughout the game. So it's not like it's too aggressive of winds here. Markets in these games, let's talk about that now. Wow, 41% of the bets on the Cubs, but 86% of the money on the Cubs here as well. Wow. Big sharp action on the Cubs here today. We've got a minus 108 opener for the Cubs, but I do know this one was due to Justin Steele was slated to start in this game. He got taken out for Hendricks. So the real opening line here, I'd call it more. I'm scrolling to see when it flipped here. Minus 125 Pittsburgh, even minus 133 Pittsburgh, I'd really classify as the real opener. And since then, it's gone down minus 115 Pittsburgh Pirates here. So I think I'm actually, I fucking hate betting against Paul Skeens because I know I'm going to try to do some research on my pitching matchups or pitching, like who I was very successful and good in fading and all that stuff through the offseason. I fucking know that one of my worst records betting against is going to be Paul Skeens this year. And for some reason, I continue to do it. And here I am doing it again. So Chicago Cubs, first 5 full game will be on my card.
Yeah, I mean, Hendricks got shelled. He had a couple bad road starts. No one's calling him an elite pitcher. But before that, he had, a bunch of nice starts. In general, he has reasonable home starts. In fact,
Pete, I want to go over the first 5 lines real quick because the difference between first 5 and full game is crazy. And it'll probably lead me just to go full game, honestly. Minus 140 opener, first 5. It got down to minus 135, but now it's up to minus 143 again. And again, minus 140 first 5 Pirates compared to the full game, minus 115.
Yeah.
It's a huge difference there, and it definitely seems like the Pirates bullpen is in line for a collapse today or something of the sort here. So just Cubs full game will be on my card.
All right, hope you cash. I'm gonna stay off of this one. Ray Charles 27 likes Pirates team total over 4.5 at plus 140. That's freaking interesting.
Plus
And
140 is pretty nice.
Redbeard, like in the first inning, Cubs pitches thrown over 19.5 at plus 230. Hendricks trash. Okay, yeah.
That's an interesting bet right there. If we're starting to bet over under pitches in an inning, color me interested, Redbeard.
Mally Mal says Hendricks doesn't pitch well against Pittsburgh at all. You're right. I mean, if you look at his his game log here, you're like, oh, he has decent starts at home. And then you're like, oh, here's one way back in May. Yeah, he had a bad start at home against Pittsburgh. So,
And you guys say all this, he's horrible against Pittsburgh, et cetera, et cetera. Then somebody explain to me why we opened up at minus 130 Pittsburgh, and it's come down to minus 115 Pittsburgh. So
Ron Crawford likes pitch first 5. Cubs game. Believe you, says Hendricks doesn't pitch well against any team. Yeah, he's a crafty guy, pretty vulnerable. All right, let's move on, Jose Bouquett. Next game on the card is where are we? Right here. St. Louis and Milwaukee. Here we go. Steve Matz returning, starting for St. Louis, right? Sort of battled injury issues his whole career. This latest one was back issues that he's had, missed a bunch of months. Then he made a bunch of rehab starts at AAA, supposedly healthy. Some of them were good, some of them not so good. Got some strikeouts. His last 2 minor league starts, he did get hit. So, he'll probably have a bunch of strong appearances in the majors, going forward, and probably a bunch of weak ones. Well, maybe it's September, so probably have one or two of each. Which one is this likely to be? Not exactly sure. And then Savali starting for Milwaukee off a very strong start at home. Will he be able to do that again? My numbers indicate that it is likely to be a decent start for him. Earlier in the show, someone, I forgot who it was, liked the Milwaukee team total over. Just as the play here.
The Crystal Craig.
Oh yeah, that's right. And Savali's his out and strikeout numbers a little bit low based on my numbers. Strikeout prop was 4.5 at plus money, plus 120. That seemed a bit low to me. I wasn't quite sure why. And his outs prop was just 16.5, minus 120. So minus 120. So that seemed a bit low to me as well. Not exactly sure why that would be, but I think Savali is probably going to have another decent start. Matt's the wild card. Some people think he's going to get crushed. What do you think, Jose Bouquett?
I don't know. I find this. I mean, anytime one of these old pitchers comes back here today, or in general, Pete, I've said I want to back you. John Cueto was a guy that I backed multiple times. He pitched well. It just sucks that the Angels have no offense and don't give a fuck anymore. But he pitched well and did everything I asked for him. Pete, I just want to back these guys because they're fresh. They just haven't pitched.
Well, but Matt's been pitching in the minors. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's had 9 starts in the minors. He's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in August. That's fine. I want him to at least have thrown a little bit. I think he's relatively fresh, and I would rather back him than a worn down Aaron Savali here. Cardinals, kind of obviously not in the playoff race anymore, have fallen off against righties. And from the 15th to today, Cardinals are 7th, 117 weighted runs created plus against them. So let's go against the market here real quick, and let's talk about that. Maybe that'll get me to move on the Cardinals here. 89% of the bets, 79% of the money on the Brewers. Please move to the Cardinals here. I had a line opening up at minus 140. It's up to minus 144. So barely any movement to the to the Brewers with all that money on them. I'm going to move on the Cardinals here, Pete. I really think I am. Totals wise, we have 78% of the money and 78% of the bets, 94% of the money on the over. I'm seeing an 8.5 opener. It's even gone down to an 8. Wow. So it looks like, it seems as if the market's saying that Steven Matz pitches well. And like I said, this is a baseball mantra I'll be carrying forward throughout every year. I'm capping baseball. We obviously had the minus 300 is the key one everyone knows, I guess, now. But I think these pitchers that are coming back late, trying to salvage their season, I really think they're just fresh, ready to go, motivated, and I like that. I like that a lot. Let's talk about Brewers against lefties, since I think you just mentioned they're trashing lefties, and they are. 114 plate appearances, 123 weighted runs created plus. That is third best in the league from the 15th to today. And if you guys are interested, full season against lefties, I know they're actually really high here as well. Full season against lefties, they are 14th, actually, 103 weighted runs created plus. I figured they'd be better, honestly. But I'll take my chances here, Pete. So give me the Cardinals here. I'm going to decide first 5 full game right now, but it'll probably be Cardinals full game money line for me.
Wow, look at this. BJ Brook Group play of the day.
Wow.
Yeah. Mal asking how he did in those starts in August. I'm assuming he means in his minor league starts. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. His last 2 minor league starts, he got hit. He had others that were very good where he got a lot of strikeouts. So up and down. Yeah,
his last 2 were 4 earned runs both times. 3 Ks, 0 walks, 3 Ks, 1 walk, and then the one good one he had was 4 1/3 shutout, 6 Ks, 1 walk there.
All right. I hope all of you who bet on this game, cash. I'm going to pass on this one. Hopefully,
I'm going to move on Brewers first 5, Cardinals first 5 officially here. Bullpen kind of worries me for the Cardinals. For the Cardinals. Yeah.
Hopefully St. Louis wins the first 5. Milwaukee puts up 5 one way or another. Both Jose and Crystal cash. All right, let's move on. Yanks, Texas, Rodon and Heaney. Rodon off a bad start. In general, I feel like he's someone that I want to fade late in the season because he's had injury and fatigue issues in the past. But he's definitely sort of alternating good and bad starts. He has his good starts as well right now. Heaney off 2 excellent starts. Before that, he was getting hit more. The Yanks, of course, they line up 1 yesterday. I would have a slight lean to Rodon under 6.5 strikeouts. Even though he's probably if he continues to have a good start after a bad one, then he's due for a good one. But statistically, my numbers like Rodon under 6.5 strikeouts and over 4.5 hits, both at about minus 130. Heaney's hit total is very low. I mean, a lot of times he doesn't go deep, but just 4.5 minus 119 and the over, I hit that one. And the Texas is a small dog here, so I did bet those pitcher props. I might make all of them or some of them official, but in general, thinking maybe it's another vulnerable spot for Rodon, even though he's followed his bad starts with good ones recently. And Heaney off of 2 nice starts, but not quite sure why his hit prop would be so low here. What's your take on this one, Jose?
Pete, I've said it all year and I'll continue to say it. I think Andrew Heaney is the most awkwardly lined pitcher in baseball. He has some lines that are just like absolutely ridiculous. The first one, and I'm sure people have heard me talk about this one, was him being a minus 120 favorite over the Baltimore Orioles. I know it was at home, but That was crazy, and we bet on the Rangers that day. We got the win there. I thought it was a fishy line, etc. This is also pretty surprising here, Pete. I don't know. Minus 133 seems cheap for a Yankees team that is very good, etc., etc. Rangers aren't playing for shit. We know all this, the narratives. So let's talk about the market. And again, maybe I can get there with a Rangers bet. Opened up at minus 135, ticks up to minus 137, got up to minus 140 at one point, even got down to minus 122 at one point as well. So this line going up and down with 78% of the bets, Pete, and 87% of the money on the New York Yankees. I don't know, Pete. I don't know. 91% of the bets, 86% of the money on the over. We have gone from an 8.5. It's now 9, juice to the under. This line fucking reeks to me, Pete. I think the Yankees lose this ball game. And Jerry pointing out the, Texas way to runs created plus against lefties. I'm betting on every team that sucks against lefties today. And I don't know why that is, but I just don't understand it. And Raymond Reichart saying the Yankees just saw and tag him. Great. Give me the back-to-back here again. But I just think that, again, Andrew Heaney and his lines are very awkward. Maybe I underestimate him as a pitcher. But I think this line is just very trappy. It's getting everyone to bet the Yankees here, and the Texas Rangers win this ball game. So full game Texas Rangers will be on my card.
All right, well, I'll start with one official play. I will take Rodon under 6.5 strikeouts, minus 152 at good old Bet Online. Another juicy line, but yeah, he could have a very good start and still have only 5 or 6 strikeouts. I'll take Rodon under, and of course, if he gets crushed, he'll be out early. Under 6.5 strikeouts, minus 152 at Bet Online. Also leaning Rodon over 4.5 hits. I don't understand why it's so low. And Heaney over 4.5 hits, very low as well. What are people saying?
Shout out
I might
to,
just stick with, yeah.
Go ahead, Pete.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say shout out to Gerald Jones, who mentioning Jack Leiter yesterday, Pete. There's a beauty. I have one friend that was a good athlete, and that friend was a good baseball player, and he told me how average he thought Jack Leiter was. And God bless that man. God bless him. I texted him yesterday. I said, thank you for telling me that, because I've shouted it from the rooftops. I mean, good God. Jack Leiter is bad. He is not a major league pitcher. Maybe he's not. Maybe he is next year, but he fucking sucks this year. Fade him anytime you can. Fade him. Mm-hmm. Shout out to you, Jerry. Or Gerald, I should say.
Yeah, I don't understand why Heaney's hits prop is so low against the Yankees. Do they not produce against lefties or something?
Yankees numbers against lefties this last few days here, Pete. They're 8th best, 106 weighted runs created plus. Full season, they're 13th at 106 weighted runs created plus. So I'm telling you, Pete, I think Andrew Heaney just is the most weirdly lined pitcher in baseball. And sometimes the market lines him and knows, I think, we're getting this fucking dub today. So everyone bet the other side. Like plus money with the Orioles, minus 120 with the Rangers was crazy. He's had one or two that I thought were really weird as well, and I've lost on them. And I think it's in those occasions were more like the Rangers offense not coming through. I think he pitches well, but we'll find out.
What's up with the Yankees? All right, I'll take it. If they suckered me in, they suckered me in. I'm going to take Heaney over 4.5 hits allowed. Minus 119. That's the current line at Caesars. Shop around for a better line, but that is it's a suspiciously low line. But I will take it. I just got suckered in if it is in fact the sucker play. Yeah, I mean Bet Online is minus 120. Not that much better. I mean, not that much worse. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Andrew Heaney. He's all right. He's not great though, is he?
Well, Pete,
He's all
I
right.
hope after today, when Andrew Heaney gets us the dub here, you're gonna now agree with me that Andrew Heaney, the most weirdly lined pitcher in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. I'm not really saying he's not going to get a win here. I'm saying 4.5 at not even at like minus 119. I mean, I guess if you look at he holds down some nice lineups. He gave up 1 hit against Houston at home, Baltimore 2 hits. The other lineups a little bit more, but all right. We'll see how it turns out. I might have just gotten suckered in, but my numbers indicated that was a good bet. So I'll make it official, and I'll hold off on the Rodon over hits. But I definitely took his strikeouts prop under. All right, let's see. What else we got? Jermaine Connolly says the Rangers roll or it's a trap. Okay. And Dexter Pope says under 6.5 minus 135 at ESPN bet on Rodon.
Shout out to Dexter Pope. Fucking
Yes.
Great poker player, Dex is.
Oh, really? Oh, that's right. There you go. Shout out to Dexter Pope. Should I take
he
that?
probably took some tips from you.
Yeah. Should I take that 135 ESPN bet? Do we take those?
Yeah.
Yeah?
ESPN bets. They're
can't
new
bet
on the
that
market,
anymore.
but their money still spends, Pete.
All right, I'll take it. Fuck it. If someone says you're using ESPN bet lines for your official record, I'll be like, yeah, you don't like it? Watch some other show. If Dexter Pope says it's okay, it's okay. Shout out to Dexter Pope, ESPN bet. And of course,
Shout out to you, Dex.
it probably won't matter at all because it's going to win. And when you win, juice don't matter, baby. All right, minus 135. ESPN
Agreed.
bet.
Real quick,
Okay.
Kongs, I'm going to ask Jimmy tomorrow. Well, I'm going to see him today, so I'll ask him today, and we'll tell you guys tomorrow. I would love, I don't know, Bet Online, obviously, it kind of takes them a while to make these tournaments, I guess. I don't know, for whatever reason, but I would love to do one again this Friday, but we'll see. I don't know 100% for sure yet, Kongs, but we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Rob Free saying Yanks just got shut down by Corbin and Gore. Yeah, Corbin's one of the best pitchers in the majors. They get a pass for that. They get a pass. I give them a pass for the Corbin game. All right,
but not Gore.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, shout out to you, Dexter Pope. Man, getting props from a guy who's legitimately good. Yeah, maybe you can give me some tips on poker, Dexter Pope, because my checking technique is awesome. I wear shades I look so cool, but my actual poker skill, a little bit subpar. Maybe you could help me out a little bit there, Dexter Pope. All right. It was fun as hell, Nate Dogg. All right, let's move on. Next game on the air. Oh, here we okay. Walker Buehler Day.
We talked about it, Pete, the last time.
Here we go. One thing I don't need any help with is what to do on Walker Buehler Day. On that, I'm okay on my own. Walker Buehler Day, been fading him ever since he came back. Encouraged by Jimmy, solidified by Jimmy's commentary on it, but fading him every which way. I might have lost with one or two of the fades, but most of them have been winning. Here he is again, a minus 190 favorite against the Angels. Reed Detmer's returning for the Angels. And hold on one second. For the Angels. And he, was sent down to the minors. Didn't really do that well in the minors either. He has been better recently, right? But, I don't know if that's because he's fixed his problems or if it's just, sort of a little bit of a slightly anomalous glitch that has resulted in him getting called up. But he definitely doesn't inspire confidence for me here. A bit more confidence than Walker Buehler. One bet I definitely made on this one was running the first yes at minus 125, and I'll make that one official. If it loses, I'll be okay with that. And can't see how you don't take the Angels at least first 3 or first 5 at decent plus money. And then also all the Buehler props, under 4.5 strikeouts. I bet that one at minus 115, under 15.5 outs at minus 113. I bet that one over 4.5 hits at minus 160. I bet that one a little bit. The earned run prop is the one I like the least. I like the strikeout one more, the outs prop more. I mean, it's possible we could come in and have like a 6-inning, 4-run start, something like that. But I definitely bet a bunch of these props. I did bet the Detmer's over 4.5 strikeouts prop because he's one of those guys where even when he gets hit, majors and minors, a lot of times he gets his strikeouts anyway. So I took that one. I might make that one an official play here, but I definitely took run in the first, yes, and a whole bunch of Buehler fades, and the Angels as a huge dog. I don't know. How do you bet this one, Jose?
I'm going to take it just the one way. If I lose on it, fine. But I've had a pretty good ROI on these super juiced first 5 team total overs. Again, I'll do the in-depth statistical analysis and look and see later. But first 5 over 1.5 here, Pete, for the Angels, minus 150. That'll be my only play on this card, or on this board, I should say. Let's go to the market here real quick and see 89% of the bets, 92% of the money on the Dodgers. Kind of unsurprisingly, this line opened up minus 180, and it has come down to minus 176, interestingly enough. And bookmaker, same thing. Wow, bookmaker actually opened this up minus 190, and they came down to minus 176. So that's interesting. Yeah, I wanted to kind of back Reed Detmers here. I think he is a good pitcher, maybe the best one that the Angels have. But, I don't know. He's just getting called up from AAA again. There's another angle we like, or at least I like. Guy gets sent down to the minors, has to work his way, grind his way back up to the majors where he was. So, yeah, I expect a good start here from him. I'm close to adding a first 5 here as well, Pete. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning. I'm looking at the first inning, run in the first inning. Angels, I'm like, do I have the right game here? Yeah, I do. Run in the first inning, yes, minus 104 Pinnacle. There's no way I won't make that an official play, but I'll admit it's a little bit. I bet it pretty big. I'm a little bit concerned that it's not that it hasn't really moved. Is there any reason to think that Buehler will have a better start, Jose Bouquett? Did you look into this at all? What are people in the comment section saying?
I mean, here's the thing. I think that it was very easy to fade Walker Buehler early. He's just gonna get him back to it. Knocking off the rust. We've heard, like Snell and Montgomery both bitch and complain about not having spring trainings, etc., and how hard that is. And I think that's kind of what Walker Buehler was going through. He just needs to work it out. The first, 30 innings of a pitcher's season, especially with no spring training. I mean, those are just like trying to figure out mechanic innings. I'm certain of it. Now we're at, by the way, he's going to be at his 50 innings here. Think he's going to get, I don't think he's washed by any means. Let's start there. I don't think he's washed. He's still relatively young. He's not Rich Hill. He's not Chris Bassett. He's just coming back off of surgery. So the more starts he gets, the better he will get. And I'm very certain about that. So, playoff time, by the playoffs, I think Walker Buehler could be humming. But I will gladly still pay to find out if he's going here. 50 innings. It's definitely getting into that category. He might be ready. His last start wasn't that bad, honestly. 4 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs earned, 4 runs, 2 of them earned. So it's not that bad. But I'll still pay the piper here. I'll still pay the piper. So I'll take both team total over 1.5, first 5 team total, I should say, minus 150, and then the first 5 money line, Los Angeles Angels, plus 130.
All right, well, I'll take the run in the first, yes, just because it's so cheap, which makes me nervous, minus 104 at Pinnacle. And
is that just for both of them or for the
yeah, run in the first, yeah, for both of them,
okay. Cool. I thought you were gonna bet specifically if Angels score first. I saw you did that recently as well, actually, I think, right?
No, I don't really do that, but I know you can. Mally Mal saying Walker looked good last time. Statistically, yeah, he didn't really walk anyone. He got 4 strikeouts, which is nice. Mally Mal, that's a very concerning comment for someone looking to auto fade Buehler again. He looked good last time, Jose Bouquett.
I think he looked better. That's the thing. And I think he's going to continue to look better the more starts he gets.
Right.
And by the way, Jerry mentioning spin rates, I went to go look. Velocity, I can tell you, he's down a 0.8 miles. Last year, he was down 1.7, and then he's down 0.8 from there. So he's down, but again, I think that's just injury. Coming back from it, I think he'll get back up to those numbers. Like I said, I'm looking for his spin rates right now because I was curious, but I still trust the guy. I mean, I will still trust the guy. Like for example, if like the Boston Red Sox signed Walker Buehler this offseason, I'd be thrilled. I would love to roll those dice if I was a general manager. Like, just please. He could be a Jack Flaherty 2.0, but I trust him.
All right, I will take run in the first. Yes, I'll hold off officially on the Detmer over 4.5 strikeouts, although I did bet that one. And then Buehler, the 15.5 under outs is tempting. I mean, if he really does have like a nice 5-inning, 1-run start, and he's up around, I don't know, 85 pitches or something, you think they'll run him out for it? Maybe they will, though. Maybe they'll be like, you got to feel what it's like to go 6 innings, and he's grooving, and he's healthy. They might run him out for another inning, right, Jose Bouquett?
Yeah. I mean, he's gone 6 already once. Actually, no, I'm looking at the wrong
Not before
dates.
the injury. Not since
yes,
the injury.
I was looking at the dates upside down. So now I'm looking recent to instead of oldest to recent.
Yeah.
But yes, 4, 4, 3, 5.
Yeah.
Probably expect if he's pitching well, he'll go 6, but I don't know if he'll go more than 5 here today because I don't think he pitches well.
I'll hold off. I'll just do the run in the first. Yes. Tempting to take the Angels' first 3, but shout out to everyone. That's why it's so much better when we have the comment section. Everyone giving their insights and opinions from left, right, north, south, east, west. Yeah, and of course the Ohtani's return as well. Certainly interesting. All right.
Yeah, and Wager Detective, obviously this game doesn't start for a long ass time, so expected lineups don't mean shit to me. So.
Okay, I'll just do run in the first. Yes, and let's move on. Next game, Seattle and Oakland. Castillo against this guy, JT Ginn, who is okay, but not great in AAA. Probably will be okay here. You know, serviceable, maybe below average, but serviceable at times. Major league pitcher getting a boost against a relatively weak lineup at home against Oakland. Castillo, not lights out, not too terrible, though. Pretty mediocre August. And this is, of course, an easier assignment for him. Oakland, a decent home dog here. I'm going to pass, though. Castillo should be okay. Probably will give up a run or 2 or 3 here and there. Don't really trust Oakland. And that's it for me. What do you think, Jose?
I lean Oakland. I mean, I think that the Seattle Mariners are a dead team. Everyone's heard this by now. Minus 142 opener has gone up to minus 150. So I mean, I get it. If people are betting the Mariners, 81% of the bets on the Mariners, but Pete, only 43% of the money on the Seattle Mariners here. So 19% of the bets, 57% of the money on the A's here. I'd much rather be on the A's. I don't believe the Seattle Mariners offense is just backable in any respect right now. I really don't. 75% of the money, 75% of the bets, 92% of the money on the over in this game. We've gone from a 7.5 to an 8. But yeah, I just really think if I had to choose one of these offense, Oakland A's 10-time. If the Seattle Mariners had the Oakland A's offense, they could win the fucking World Series. But it's just not that case, obviously. So I just think the A's could just score like 4 runs, 5 runs here, and then Seattle's kind of fucked. So no action here for me, but I agree with you.
Yeah, Jermaine Connolly talking about the Angels lineup, which in general is, not a terribly fearsome lineup overall. Mally Mouth saying perfect numbers for Buehler to pitch well. Yeah, I hear you. All right, this Oakland game, I'm going to pass. Tempting to take, you did Ginn over 3.5 strikeouts or something like that, but he had some good low strikeout starts in the minors. So I'm going to completely pass on this one. All right, Jose Bouquett?
Yep, I am too.
All right, last one, Arizona, San Francisco. Ryan Nelson against, I don't know who it is. I didn't look at this game because I had no line or pitcher to start. So we can look at it right now on the fly, but I did not look into this one.
I don't have a pitcher still, actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys in the chat have someone. RotoWire has Kyle Harrison, but I don't believe them. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either.
I mean, Ryan Nelson has been very solid, pitching well. No reason to think he won't have another nice start here, unless you think for some reason, statistically, I have no reason to believe that he won't have another nice 6-inning start here.
I agree. And on top of that, he just kind of won a pitching battle against Jordan Montgomery for that last spot in the rotation. Home road splits. He's got a 3.79 away compared to a 4.74 road or home. Jesus. But I probably just stay off this game. I don't know the pitcher. I'd lean Arizona, but who knows what the line is.
Yeah. Would love to take a shot with Nelson over 17.5 outs at minus 150 or so. Or just under 2.5 earned runs at like minus 135 or so. Current line at Pinnacle. Yeah, I'll hold off for now as well. Just without all the other information, it's hard to make a decision. All right, Jose Bouquett, is Dabby Cab around? I'm looking at the comment section right now. Justin McElvey likes Nelson over 5.5 strikeouts at plus money.
Yes, Dabby is ready for us, so we can.
Dabby is ready.
Baseball.
We're ready to go. All right, that's it for baseball. Do you want to just quickly before we bring on Dabby Cab, or just review the official plays that we made in baseball?
Sure, I'll go first here. Pete.
You go first. Great.
I have Colorado Rockies full game money line, 300 minus 300 fade there. Team total over 2.5 full game as well, minus 101. White Sox plus 262, another minus 300 fade there. First 5 team total over 1.5. Cleveland full game money line minus 109. Chicago Cubs money line plus 105. St. Louis Cardinals money line plus 125. Texas Rangers money line plus 126. Maybe the most interesting start of the day for Andrew Heaney there. And Los Angeles Angels double up, as we just talked about. First 5 money line plus 130, and first 5 team total over 1.5 at minus 150. And if I'm going to make that official, Pete, I might as well play this.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Huh?
Yep. Nice to see it. Nice to see it, Jose Bouquett.
And Pete, I will tell you this. I don't want to put this pressure on you, Pete, but I do need a birthday pick, Pete. I need a birthday
pick. Whose birthday is it?
And mine's tomorrow.
So, Jose
Pete,
Bouquett.
No pressure. No pressure.
That's all right.
Think about
I'll give you a birthday pick. Maybe I'll make it one of the college football games that we cover. Let me review my official plays. They all seem a little bit iffy. There are no locks in sports betting. I took Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts, minus 104 Caesars. I did take Tampa Bay first 5, money line, minus 111 Pinnacle. Ron Crawford likes Minnesota full game. I took Tampa Bay first 5, minus 111. Cutter Crawford under 5.5 strikeouts, minus 157. Bet online. Feels like the Mets maybe should be a bigger favorite. Maybe the market telling you that Boston's the play, but Crawford pitches well. He still tends to have lower strikeout numbers. So I took that one. Freeland getting disrespected. Freeland over 3.5 strikeouts, minus 162 bet online, and under 3.5 earned runs, minus 151 Caesars. We'll see. Freeland gets crushed. That's going to be 3 units of loss, which won't be good, but you got to take your shots. I think he'll be all right. Carlos Rodon under 6.5 strikeouts, minus 135. ESPN bet. Heaney over 4.5 hits, minus 119 at Caesars. And then the Angels-Dodgers game, the most fascinating game on the card. How will Walker Buehler do? Mal and others indicated that this might be a good spot for Walker Buehler. I took run in the first, yes, at just minus 104 Pinnacle. Very suspiciously low line, but I pulled the trigger on it. And those are my official plays for MLB, Jose Bouquett.
I wish you luck, Pete. I wish you luck.
Thank you so much.
And I wish our next guest luck. By the way, We're bringing him on for college football. Quiet it is kept. I saw the fucking record yesterday. I saw the tweet. I think 18-3, 18-2 in his last 3 Mondays on the sesh. And I think these are, and I don't know if they're all college football. I think they're all what they say MLB bets. So,
oh shit!
God bless our next guest.
Wow!
I'll introduce him right now. The host of the tailgate every Saturday now. Gonna get a lot of good shit. The host of the tailgate and Pete. What a matchup we have this weekend for the live stream today. The University of Texas versus Michigan, number 4 versus number 8, defending national champions, Quinn Ewers, the whole gang. Bring them on. Dabby Cab joins the program. Dabby.
Dabby Cab, great to see you.
No mute with you here, Pete. No mute with you here, Pete. I don't know if you saw, I did the first college football show of the year on mute for the first 3 minutes.
You know, the only thing that matters is the picks, Dabby Cab. And for real, 18-3 in your last 3 Monday shows?
It's actually like my last 5 shows. So Jose kind of messed that up. But still, hey, it's a longer stretch, right?
You know, I just realized this now. You have a little bit of a Phil Hellmuth vibe to you, both in your demeanor, your voice, and your face. That's a compliment there, Dabby Cab. A lot of people would be like, that's an insult. I mean it as a compliment, Dabby Cab. All right, Dabby Cab, it's so great to be doing a show with you. We're going to start breaking down 2 college football, start the season with you. We're going to do this every Tuesday, right? You're going to be on breaking down a couple of games. All right, let's try to give our viewers 2-0 to start the year on these Tuesday shows. Arkansas, Oklahoma State is the first game that we're going to talk about. Oklahoma State, of course, is about a touchdown favorite. The total, when I looked at it last night, was about 60. I think it's gotten bet significantly up. Yeah, wow. Now it's 62.5 minus 120 at Pinnacle. So a big move to the over, which is understandable considering Oklahoma State's offense. When I was capping this game, obviously Arkansas, huge, they were picked, I think, 14th in the SEC. Low expectations for them this year. Oklahoma State, high expectations. Nice win and cover against South Dakota State, a very impressive FCS team in their last game. And the question is just, how disrespected is Arkansas getting to start the year and coming into this game? Obviously, the 70 zip win we take with a grain of salt, but I was thinking that maybe, probably Oklahoma State minus the points is the way to go, just because they'll pull away with it late. But I was thinking maybe under or first half under, because Arkansas is going to come in here and try to really, prove to themselves that that they're wrong. All the preseason rankings are wrong, and I think they're going to try to play tough, slow it down, defense oriented football. Which if they're able to do that and not fall behind big early, will lead to a lower scoring first half. But obviously there's been a huge market move to the over, which is understandable considering the Oklahoma State offense. I was leaning under, and more so first half under, when I capped this game, and probably, I guess, agreeing with everyone else that ultimately full game Oklahoma State is just too talented, and with a free play at least would take them -7. But what do you think? You chose this game at Dabby Cap. What do you like in here, and why?
Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit of an outlier. I figure you're right. I think people probably should be loading up Oklahoma State here. You got Taylon Green at QB, the transfer from Boise State for Arkansas. And, he's under Bobby Petrino. You got Bobby Petrino back at the helm calling plays for the offense. And without Jimbo Fisher at A&M, Jimbo had his thumb on Petrino. Like, he really – those were 2 competing personalities that you just can't have, in the same coaching staff. And I don't think Petrino was ever really able to do what he does and open up the field. Whereas here at Arkansas, I think he's going to have that ability. And I think Green put people on notice week 1. Now, I know that was a FCS competition, and it's no big deal. But at the same time, they had the ball 10 times. They scored 10 times, right? Petrino knows what he's doing, calling plays on offense. On the other side, you got Bowman for Oklahoma State, the QB, in his 7th year of eligibility. I just think it's so crazy that we're seeing these 7th, 8th, even the tight end at Miami, he's got his 9th year of eligibility. But I digress. That's just crazy to see people making a decade out of a college career. But yeah, Bowman's going to be at the helm at the QB, and behind him, you've got Ollie Gordon, who is, arguably probably going to be the best player on the field, right? The running back for Oklahoma State. We all know, he's that guy. He's going to get the ball 20, 25. Oh, he might get 25 plus carries in this game. And one thing, Pete, that I will be on, and I want to make sure the chat hears this because there's no numbers yet and I can't make it official. I'll be on Ollie Gordon's rushing prop. I love betting college props. I will be on his prop. He had 104 yards in the first game. I think he can get close to 100 again in this game. The numbers should probably be around somewhere like 79. Just a guess. We'll have to see when it gets up there. So for Arkansas, the real question is going to be on defense, right? Can they slow down Ollie Gordon? Can they stop Bowman? Last year, they were 80th in team defense, allowing almost 28 points per game. If that hasn't improved, Gordon's going to have a field day. And I understand why people are on Oklahoma State. But you kind of touched on it by saying you like the under and you like Arkansas to make this a defensive-minded game. I think Arkansas shows some fight here. I really do. And even though Oklahoma State's going to be balanced and they're going to put up points, Petrino's going to call good plays that are going to put up points also. You got a dual threat quarterback for Petrino. I see this game going back and forth. I really do. I see it going back and forth. And while Arkansas's defense might be the reason they lose this game, I think they keep it close enough to cover. And it's 7.5. I got to take it. So I will be on the Razorback here. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way I was thinking. And I'm like, if it was 13, but like a lot of times these back and forth games, they're close. You see this all the time. Even the dog is like winning at the end of the third quarter, but then like class shows late. And then, the favorite gets the cover, which makes me nervous. But yeah, and Arkansas last year, they were kind of tough last year, even though they had issues with like fumbles and penalties and everything, and special teams. They didn't really get blown out. They were just a tough, scrappy team in general, right?
They were. And I feel like it's been a couple years of watching an offense completely and totally built around KJ Jefferson for Arkansas. And as great of a football player as he is, I got tired of watching that offense try and find a way to give him a 5-yard pass or run it right up the middle. Like, I'm much more excited about Green at quarterback with Petrino calling plays than I ever would have been about KJ Jefferson in Arkansas. I think this team has more potential than they have in a couple years.
Yeah, well, there's been a big move to the over from last night, like a 3-point move. The first half total is still just about 31. What's your take on that big move? I mean, obviously, at first glance, it makes a ton of sense.
I think that, outside of the schools that are playing FCS opponents who were able to cover the 50, and 34-point spreads, outside of that, we saw in week 1 a lot of games go under. And I know this is now week 2, but this is the first real competition that either of these teams are playing, Pete. So, yeah, I think that it could go back to that trend of, we see the first half go under, the full game go under. Yeah, I like the under.
Especially with Arkansas probably just, probably going back to what they do best, which is pounding it. And if you think there's going to be a lot of running from Oklahoma State as well, let's see what the comment section has to say. The total is, the side is just 7.5. Pinnacle has Arkansas plus 7.5, minus 106. So that's your official play, Dabby Cab?
7.5, 106. I'll take that right there.
Okay. Wager Detective says recency bias. We'll see what Oak State just did, built into the line already. Yeah. And Wager Detective likes Arkansas plus 7.5.
Now, out of all of the FCS schools, Pete, the Jackrabbits that Oklahoma State played, South Dakota State, that's one of the better FCS schools. That being said, Oklahoma State was getting pushed around a little bit on the line by them, and that's not something you want to see.
All right. Well, Dabby Cab like an Arkansas plus 7.5, current line minus 106 at Pinnacle. Let's move on to the second game we're going to talk about, Tennessee and NC State. Ready, Dabby?
Let's get it, man.
All right. This one, of course, is at a neutral site, although it's being played in North Carolina, and Tennessee, of course, crushed Chattanooga. NC State won but didn't cover against Western Carolina, and they were down, late into that game, and they had issues with the offensive line. And I guess this is just a judgment call. Is what we saw from NC State in that game anomalous, write it off as first game of the year, or is it indicative of of struggles to come in this game and future games from NC State. Traditionally, NC State has a great offensive line, expected to be excellent again this year, but they did not look good last week in that game against Western Carolina. And I guess that might be the biggest judgment call of all for this one is, are we going to see a significant improvement from the NC State offensive line in this game? And then Tennessee, of course, they crushed Chattanooga. But Chattanooga is actually a highly ranked FCS team as well. So, I think we take it with a grain of salt, but I don't think it means nothing, very impressive, result from Tennessee. At first glance, it seems like the Tennessee team total of, around 30 is a little bit low. When Tennessee is good, they put up, 30 against anyone and everyone except for the absolute elite defenses of college football, which probably NC State is not, might be, but doesn't look like it right now. So once again, we have Tennessee as about a 7.5 point favorite, total around 60 or 61. What do you think? You think we'll see a significant improvement here from NC State, or will they struggle again and lose by double digits? What do you think, Dabby?
So you touched on the struggles, Pete. Both NC State and Tennessee, they won week 1, right? They won. They didn't cover. NC State didn't cover, but they won. And I guess at the end of the day, that winning is for athletes, right? Covering is for gamblers. But man, you said it. NC State was losing going into the fourth quarter of that football game. They were down 21-17 to Western Carolina going into the fourth quarter as 32.5 point favorites. Let's look into that a little bit more. NC State was giving up 6.3 yards a carry on the ground. You got Grayson McCall, the transfer from Coastal Carolina at quarterback for NC State, which I've been a McCall fan because going back 3-4 years ago, since we have all these years of eligibility, I want to say it was 3 years ago, I made a lot of money on Coastal Carolina with Grayson McCall. So shout out to him 3 years ago, but this isn't 3 years ago, Pete, and he looked rough in his first game with the Wolfpack. I mean, that defense was so overmatched, and he was still overthrowing and just missing open receivers. And that's just something you cannot be doing. You look on the other side for Tennessee too. I'm going to slaughter this name, but then I'm going to give you his nickname, so it's all good. The redshirt freshman, Nico Iamalava.
Oh, yeah.
The quarterback. Okay. But he goes by Millionaire. He goes by Millionaire Nico. Okay. Because he is already a multimillionaire as a freshman at Tennessee. And Millionaire Nico, pay attention. Pay attention to this kid because he can flat ball. He looked great in the first game. I know there wasn't, the best competition, but I've been high on this kid coming into the season. After watching him in the first game, I'm still even higher on him. Millionaire Nico can ball, the quarterback for Tennessee. Sampson will be at the back in the backfield. He averaged 10 yards per carry in the first game with 3 rushing touchdowns. So you've just got experience all the way around. I expect both offenses to score points here in this game. McCall, as much as I said he was struggling, I think he will settle in a bit. I do. That being said, it's the Wolfpack's defense that I think is, extremely vulnerable. If they were vulnerable against the FCS team in week 1, Tennessee might disrespect them. I mean, this game could get ugly. I don't understand why it's not a larger spread, to be completely honest. I'm doubling up here with Tennessee. I got Tennessee full game. I got Tennessee first half. I think they go, I know it's a neutral game, but like you said, it's in Carolina. I think they go, beat the brakes off NC State here. I really do.
Well, I mean, if you disregard what we saw in the field in week 1, then the line makes perfect sense. I mean, NC State, ranked. They have a veteran defense. I think all of their secondary is like returning seniors or something like that. They should. Their offensive line was supposed to be as good as always. And so it's you see this all the time in college football. Just an early season game where there is no real explanation. Either their heads weren't in it, something psychological, just an anomaly, and that might be the case for NC State, because if you hadn't seen what happened on the field in the first games for these two teams, you'd probably be leaning NC State, or not, wouldn't you?
Possibly. My thing is NC State's going to be relying a lot on their defense here, and I can go across the board with Tennessee, whether we're talking about, the redshirt quarterback that I was just talking about, or their receivers, or Sampson at running back. I mean, this team is stacked. I'm very high on Tennessee. I kind of like the over here, Pete, because I do think that NC State settles in a little bit from week 1. So I do kind of like the over, but like I said, I'm so high on Tennessee. That's all I'm worried about. I got Tennessee first half, Tennessee full game.
Okay, right now Pinnacle Tennessee is -7.5, -115. So leaning that way, and the first half is -4, -115. That's what the comments section has to say. Let's see. Yep, Mally Mal seems to be liking the Vols as well. Jerry Davis says McCall, it looks physically broken.
Perhaps.
I agree with that. Perhaps, yeah. Mally Mal, Tennessee -7. Let's go. Kong's Clips. Nico could win the Heisman. He's certainly running. Kong's Clips. This is one of my best bets this weekend. Tennessee -7.5. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Maybe it's it's whether we're overreacting to what we saw from NC State or whether the market isn't reacting fast enough to how they should be reacting based on what happened to NC State. And Dabby Cab and a bunch of people in the comments section liking Tennessee. So we got 3 official plays from you, right, Dabby Cab? Arkansas and Tennessee first half and full game.
Yes, sir.
So great to be doing these shows with you again, Dabby Cab. Thanks so much. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Love it, Pete. See you next week, man. Let's cash.
Hell yeah. All right, Jose Bouquett, come back in here for a sec if you don't mind. Jose Bouquett, you still there, pal? Hey, Jose. All right, I guess Jose Bouquet's not around. Yeah, all right. So
I can hang out if Jose's
no, that's okay. Yeah, I was just I was looking at those games and I kind of, in the beginning of all seasons, I take it easy unless there's something that I'm really liking personally or tailing someone else who I implicitly trust Jimmy the Bag on preseason NFL, for example. But these, my only lean was really the first half under in the Arkansas game, just thinking that, it's going to be, maybe a bit more of an intense atmosphere and Arkansas trying to slow things down and successfully so to keep it low scoring. And this game, Tennessee's obviously legit awesome. I'm just a little bit scared of overreacting to a fate of NC State based on just that one game. I mean, they did not look good. They did not look good against a team that was that's ranked lower than Tennessee. But again, it's just one game to start the year. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, Pete. One thing I keep telling, because I tried to tell myself, make sure I'm not just thinking off this one game.
Yeah.
I think I'm judging McCall's season last year also. So I know that he's just one player on the team, but I'm just not very high on Grayson McCall. I don't know. I don't think he's going to be the right guy for NC State.
No, I hear you. I feel you. Yeah.
Right,
and
Jose,
we'll see.
you got this.
Go ahead.
Yep. Hello, Pete.
Hey, Jose. All right. Well, it was a very good show. We got 2 nice clips covering those 2 games. What do you were listening to those clips, right? Jose Bouquet, capping the cappers. You trust in Dabby Cab on those 2 games, those 3 picks?
Yeah, I'm on Tennessee now. It opened up last week at 5.5.
Right.
Mally. And then it goes up to 7 after them playing. Here's my stupid analysis, Pete.
I personally like stupid analysis even better than smart analysis, but that's just me.
Nico, Tennessee's quarterback
is
going to be incredible. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick in a few years, like 2-3 years, however many he has to stay. He's going to be really good. So that's why I'm on Tennessee. All those millions of dollars have finally paid off, it seems. I'm using it as Kongs gave it to me as my birthday play, so I have to take it, right?
Oh, I forgot about that. It is your birthday. And shout out to Nutflush Allen in the comment section with a great a comment. As always, need to pay attention these early weeks with pace of play on snaps. Take advantage early. Huge shout out to you, Nutflush Allen. Nutflush, what do you think? You think Ryan Nelson for Arizona comes in and has another quality 6-inning start? That's what I was thinking. I haven't bet it yet, though. And
let us know who's pitching as well, Nutflush. We know you have the keys to those Ferraris over there.
Oh, yeah. Mally Mal says, is BYU really getting 10.5? I actually took SMU, but that was just a tale of someone that I trust at -10. So, I didn't look into that game too deeply, Mally Mal. I did take SMU, but again, that is, if that one loses, I'm not taking personal responsibility. I'm telling someone else that I trust.
That doesn't go on your AIPP record.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah. An interesting comment here from Jerry Davis. I think McCall is physically broken. Yeah. I mean, that happens all the time. Guys, you work so hard to get to where you want to be. And then when you're there on the stage, you're just freaking tired. You don't have it. That is entirely possible. He might even be yanked after 6 games or so. Yeah. NC State actually might be a great fade. We'll see what happens in this game. But if McCall is obviously not there and they continue to start him, NC State for that reason might be a great fade. And then when they replace him, a great bet on. I'll be looking for that. Awesome comment, Jerry Davis. Hell yeah. All right, Jose Bouquett, you want to wrap up the show? Anything? Oh, God, I got to give you a friggin' birthday pick. All right.
Yeah, you think about it. Pete. We'll go over some plays here real quick. Shout out to, again, Stacks, Jose Ramirez, over 1.5 bases, and the Blue Jays over in that game. Crystal Craig's on the Brewers. Gerald Jones, best bet. The Mets. Kongs, we've talked all about Tennessee. That's his play. Bubba looking at these overs here. Shout out to you, Bubba Ron Crawford. Let's give our guy Ron Crawford some love here. His spreadsheet dog, which has been dominating this year. Spreadsheet dog play of the day is Minnesota. Yes, shout out to you, Ron Crawford, and shout out to Stacks. I might as well hit it one more time. Stacks. Tori, also birthday pick to me. He gave me Mercury first half. I did just move on that first half money line -120.
Tori, very nice. So, Tori Coker. Huge shout out to Tori Coker. Let me copy and paste that. Not because I want to mention it later. The show's almost done, because I personally don't want to forget it. I'll tail that.
Yes. Shout out to you, Tori. Hope you're doing well. And I'm excited to move on that. And I already did, actually. So excited for that game. But Pete, now it is time. The pressure is on.
I'll give it to you. Nut Flush Allen asked about this. And when the lines opened, the implied team total for Tennessee was around 30. Now it's up to 33.5 at -140 at Pinnacle. So the Tennessee team total a little bit up there. Anything like 30, 31 would kind of be an auto play on the over for Tennessee. 33.5 at -139. Not so sure about that, but that's the current line at Pinnacle. Nut Flush Allen. All right.
I'm going to play this, Pete.
All right, Jose Bouquett. Well, it's obviously going to have to be one of my MLB picks here. All these props. I mean, really, I should give, the script says fucking give him Corbin over strikeouts and watch it cash. That's what I should do. I mean, I think the Crawford under strikeout prop is pretty solid, because even when he pitches well, he tends to he has a hard time getting to 6. I think at this point in the year, fading Rodon on his strikeout props is probably still okay, even though he's been pitching well recently. If I hadn't heard, what everyone in the comment section was saying about Walker Buehler, it would definitely have been the Dodgers-Angels running the first. But very suspiciously low line, so I'm going to hold off on that one. I think Freeland's getting disrespected, but he could get hit. I think it has to be that. Jose Bouquett. Oh, man. If it wins, it's awesome and hilarious. If it loses, it's awesome and hilarious. There could be no other birthday pick for you, Jose Bouquett, other than an over for the Pat Corbin strikeout prop. Happy birthday, Jose Bouquett. My birthday pick to you is Pat Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts. Get the best line you can. Caesars has -104 right now. Other places have worse lines. Whatever you can get it better. Get the best line you can get. Don't pay more than -130 for it, but you can find better than that, Jose Bouquett. Happy birthday to you, Jose Bouquett. Pat Corbin over 4.5 strikeouts.
Thank you, Pete. I have just hit submit on the bet, a 4.5 minus 110.
All right, and
so
look, I'll double up just in solidarity. I'll double up my bet on that one as well. Just
okay.
just so that I'm
Okay,
invested.
solidarity. These saw that, guys. Solidarity bets here
Solidarity
as well.
for the communists. Yes, absolutely. For the politics. For the politics. Yes,
It's
absolutely.
amazing how quickly you
Solidarity,
turn Russian when you just have the red shirt on.
Yeah, absolutely. We need to have unity, and we will have the revolution successful after all these years. All right, Jose Bouquett, great show, man. I'm beat, but it was a great show. Had a great time. Thanks so much to the comment section, as always, and we'll see you again next Tuesday, baby.